Hello everyone to the Faroe Islands. Look at this, we have snow! It's actually the first time I'm experiencing this much snow in the Faroe Islands, which is so cool! And we've come to this place here, which is one of the more obvious places to use a wide-angle lens. Big vista, huge mountain here in the background, and then we have a little bit of foreground too. Alright, so talking about wide-angle lenses, what they are mainly used for, known for, is to take in big epic vistas, and that's exactly what we got right here. So we are in Vidøy and we are photographing up towards this mountain. As you can see, we have placed ourselves, so we have this little ridge right here. And obviously, if you know me and my photography, I go out here, place myself here, looks epic, and then we wait for some light to happen. In this specific location, I can actually zoom all the way into like 24mm, 28mm, and it's still really good. It's way within the wide angle lens. However, if we zoom too much out, 16mm, then the mountain actually becomes fairly small in the scene. And that is obviously not what we want. We want to have a big imposing mountain and then a little person there in the foreground, which looks really cool. As you can see, we also have snow all over the place and we have a lot of wind. And right now, as you can see down there, we have some crazy snow just blowing up. Maybe that's something worth incorporating into the photo. So we have walked a little bit further along the ridge here and you can see the perspective to the background mountain has changed. However, we're actually shooting in that direction here. And out there, I may have just got one of my favorite photos of the year. So we are shooting towards the background islands here. So we have Bordøy, Kunoy and Kalsoy here in the background. Now I have got a photo from Kalsoy shooting towards these islands here. Last time I was in the Faroe Islands, but now we're shooting the other direction. We have changing conditions all the time. As you can see, the atmosphere, snow showers coming in, light breaking out, and then you have to compose the scene and think about everything. So I am shooting at like 30-35mm, so it's just on the edge of what the 16 to 35mm lens can give me. However, I still want to have the entire scene here in. But one thing that's very important, and you could also see that with the first photos I took, is to think about the foreground. When you use a wide angle lens, and actually also when you use a standard lens or a long lens, you need to build up the photo, so some kind of foreground. Often when using a wide angle lens, you get that very distorted foreground, big foreground. I personally prefer to have a little bit smaller foreground, like me standing down here, as the foreground, showing some adventure, showing some scale in the scene, and then incorporating the foreground into the background that I actually want to photograph.
If you want to go to the Faroe Islands on your own, I have a digital landscape photography map you can easily integrate with Google Maps. Here I have marked most of the interesting locations for landscape photography, added links to the videos where I visit the locations, and added additional information about the location if need be. There is a link in the description of the video where you can get it.
So hello everyone, we are now at another location which is definitely also one of the reasons why you would want to carry a wide angle. This right here is what wide angles are made for. So much snow, I've never been here with so much snow before, it's so cool. So Even though I'm shooting at 16mm, it is not always easy to get everything in this scene well within the frame. Of course I can go vertical, get my composition with some foreground and the big rock here in the background. I can even go horizontal and get the composition. However, if I want to get the entire vista well within the frame, I actually have to do panoramas. Because shooting panoramas is the same as just shooting with a wider focal length. So right now the snow showers are just going absolute haywire all the way around us. But we get such amazing photos. And it really is just like wide angle on, either make a panorama or just take single photos of the big mountain here in the background. Absolutely amazing. Now, if you know anything about this location, you know that it can be a little bit sketchy getting out here from the lighthouse up there, and then we walk down here. However, we have crampons on and the ground is actually quite frozen, so it's really easy to get grip. In that way, there's not too much snow, so it's not really that hard today. It's way worse when it's just muddy and annoying. But yeah, simply just standing here waiting for something amazing to happen, which happens all the time. It's quite the scoop photographing this place with so much snow. It's only idiots like us who actually come up here.
Composing photos in weather like this isn't easy. That's why it's good to come prepared and have a built-in understanding of the compositional tools. Focal point, focal length, balance, leading lines, scale and so on are all compositional tools I cover in my 2 ebooks on composition. They're easy to read and have tons of examples. There's a link to both the free light version and the full version in the description of the video. All the snow and wind made all the hikes so much harder to do. The coldness, chill factor, snow drifts, lack of visibility of the trails, icy roads. Yes, the Faroes are not the most comfortable place to drive when the roads are snowy and icy, and general tougher shooting conditions all added up to this being a really hard trip. Thank God, as mentioned, the crampons did help immensely reducing the risk of slipping around. Although we did hire a boat to bring us out and back from the famous sea stack Drangarnir, we still had to walk 1/3 of the normal hike. But due to the weather conditions, lack of visibility and hidden trail underneath the snow, this still turned out to be the most difficult hike. That said, the extreme conditions come with a high reward of potentially amazing photos. And that's exactly what we got.
So we have made it out to Drangarnir, and you can see Tindhólmur here in the background, which is a beautiful island. Obviously I have my wide angle lens on right now. As you can see, I go close, it has this wide angle effect. And I'm framing my composition in a way so I have Tindhólm on one side, and then I use this leading line of snow all the way to the background. It's the first time I'm here with snow, so I'm really excited. It looks fantastic. Just before we had like snow coming in, and then the sun broke through that snow, and I got a really epic photo, as you can see here. So this here is definitely a place that the wide angle lens is made for. We are going to head a little bit further down and let's see what I'll catch. Oh my. It's almost as if he planned it. So we are down photographing my favorite composition of Drangarnir here in the background. And it didn't really look too good with the cloud because it has covered up the sun. But a big snow shower came in, a boat sailed under or in front of Drangarnir, and then the sun broke out and we got light. Oh my God. What do you say, guys? How was that?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
It was amazing.
Oh my, that was just perfect. Oh wow. I'm a little bit lost for words like this. So we have fighted so much to get out here, and then we actually get a really good shot. Nice. Can you repeat that?
This is the apotheosis of epic.
So have the cameras right here, of course, using the foreground here, leading line, using it to frame Drangarnir. I have just been using my intervalometer while I've been standing in the scene up here. F16 ISO 100 gives me a shutter speed of 1/60th of a second. No biggie there. But look at this beautifully lit, snowy atmosphere. Perfect. So we made it down to the lower section where we also usually photograph Drangarnir from, as you can see here in the background. And we sadly are not really getting optimal light. The sun was kind of out. We got a little bit of light in the clouds for a few seconds, but not a big deal. So while they are standing there, waiting, hoping for some more, I'm actually shooting a little bit in this direction over here, using this mountain here as the backdrop, and then all the swell here in the foreground. It also works really well in a both vertical and horizontal composition. So when I'm shooting in locations like this, I usually always start out with a bracketed photo, so I have a bright photo for the dark cliffs, and then I change to single exposures and just play around with the shutter speed, different shutter speeds whenever the waves come in. You get a whole lot of different things that I can then put together in a final photo with some stacking and blending in Photoshop. And if you want to learn how I edit my photos, be sure to enroll in my huge Photoshop for landscape photographers post-processing course, which I share all my techniques, both with stacking, blending, focus stacking, luminosity masks, how to use the programs, all the stuff you need to learn to really fulfill the potential of the raw files that you capture. Then you need to edit your photos, whether you want them to look realistic or you want to go haywire with the editing. There is a coupon code and a link down in the description below.
We did make it back to the pickup area for the boat before it became too dark, and we could look back with relief on some incredible conditions. As always, I highly appreciate a like and a comment. If you want to learn even more about composition and editing, check out the links in the description. I hope you enjoyed the video and photos. To be continued.